And we are live. All right. We just finished watching UFC 272,
Mm-hmm.
Covington versus Masvidal. And
And assorted others.
yeah, look, man, you got what look, it was as advertised, is all I can say, right? It was as advertised. Um both of them were kind of going at each other. Is that you? Who's that?
Mm-mm-mm.
Is that you, D Weezy? But
Yeah, you gotta mute that.
yeah, beat that. Okay. And shout out to Perks of Being a Wallflower. He says 5-0, not even close. Let's see. Mummy my money. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, they both got their hits in. Covington is clearly the superior fighter, right?
Yeah.
That's just what it is. But neither one of them. I mean, like Covington he's a good fighter. They're both a step below Usman. Well, Masvidal's probably 2 or 3 steps below Usman. But hey, solid fight. It went to 5 rounds. That's all I can really say about it.
And it went to 5 rounds because Covington. I mean, he couldn't really. I mean, he kind of worked him over on the ground when he took him down, but he couldn't really get near any submissions. And Masvidal, he just didn't have the conditioning. He hurt Covington in the 4th round. He dropped him. For a second, Covington popped back up, but he was clearly hurt. And Masvidal he didn't have anything. He had nothing in the tank to try and go after him and finish him.
Nothing. And shout out to Dave Vaughn. He said, I didn't watch, but I'm here. Shout out to the LBHT crew, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Yeah. So
I got the Ravens online ungatekeepers. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. He's trying to get to 100 real quick.
That's right. Yeah. Perks, man. There's levels in this game for sure. There's levels, man. And look, Masvidal is a guy who capitalized on a big moment, right? That flying knee to Ben Askren knocked him out in 8 seconds or whatever it was. Like he capitalized off of it. Yeah. He marketed himself really well. Got some endorsements off of that. Got on the cover of the UFC, the UFC video game. He got the hardcore championship belt made, and that was a big spectacle.
Well, that's the one perk from Hospital. He is still the BMF champ, right?
The BMF belt. Like, I mean, he did all that stuff, and he capitalized, and he made some money on his way out. But I mean, he should be out now. This should be a retirement match. Like, there's nothing left for him. He can't fight any of the top guys. All right.
Yeah, so, what are your thoughts on the main event there, Derek?
To me, it looked like Covington didn't want any of Masvidal standing. I think if it stayed on the feet, we'd have probably seen Masvidal probably tee up Covington a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not to say, Covington can't stand with him, but it was clear, his game plan was try and take it to the ground and work it through the ground game. And anytime they were standing, even when Covington was connecting, they didn't seem to be heavy-handed shots. And those do build up, but kind of like what you said, it seemed like Masvidal was the one more making an impact when they were on the feet.
Yeah, Covington's got a little bit of the Chris Bird syndrome. He's a heavyweight boxer who just he had pillow hands basically. And he couldn't really keep people off him, even though he was more skilled. I mean the main event was an okay fight, not great. There was more action, I guess you could say, after the fight than even in it, really. I mean, it was a lot of Covington just dragging him to the ground and holding him there and exhausting him. But Masvidal had a lot to say after the fight, so did Covington. So it was just kind of. It was a guy who you knew was a superior fighter, showing you that he's a superior fighter, but you know what? It's still F you afterwards.
Pretty much. Shout out to Fat Boy Kyle for coming through at 1:30 a.m. Says, went exactly how I planned. Indeed. Shout out to Mr. J the 6th. Says, when Covington slipped on a block kick, he could have did something. Yeah.
But I think he didn't want to risk going to the ground and staying there.
Yeah.
Masvidal obviously wanted to keep it on the feet. That's where he had a big time advantage over Covington, but he just couldn't get it done tonight.
But I remember that though. Like it was one of those things where it's just like you're on top of him. Like, why aren't you like? And you're stronger than him. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, wail on this man. You know what I'm saying? Like he fought too timid. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting from Masvidal. Like he's just not that good. And shout out to Darren, man. He said, "Yo, the boys do UFC. You know it. UFC. We do boxing." And shout out to our man Mikey. He probably sleeping right now. But we do the Ring Kings podcast. Look, we do everything over here, Darren. We do everything. We're not just football. But yes, yeah, man. Like I said, and we got a donation. Shout out to him, though, man. Appreciate you. Says always here to support LBHT. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you, Endo. Thank you.
So yeah, there were obviously some other fights on the card. I mean, we can go through those real quick. The first fight was Sergey Spivak and Greg Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
That one did not last very long at all. Greg Hardy, not super skilled. He relies very, very much on having punching power. He got taken down and put away pretty quickly, pretty easily.
He got manhandled by a man half his size.
Yeah.
There wasn't much.
And when I say manhandled, I mean manhandled because he tried to hip toss him. Hardy leaned on him and said no. And then he said, "Hold on, fella. Let me show you how it's done."
You know what's frustrating about Greg Hardy? Like, he's not that good, right? But Bisping in particular always hypes this man up. Michael Bisping is always just like, "Oh yeah, he's been putting in the work and he's got skills and this and that." Like he always hypes you up, like, "Oh well, maybe he improved, right?" Like, he is kind of raw. Maybe he improved, and it's the same old Greg Hardy every time he goes out there.
Yeah,
it's like he didn't practice on anything.
Yeah, Darren saying the broadcast didn't show him, but Covington landed a lot of shots standing as well.
He did. Oh, they showed it.
It's just he doesn't have the kind of power to make to really affect fighters in general when in the stand up. But yeah, he's a more skilled fighter than Masvidal. But I mean, there's a reason he wanted to go to the ground. Like he wouldn't have been able to stand with Jorge for 5 rounds.
So I want to say it was maybe the third or fourth round, and he landed like 6 shots in a row. Right, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Back Masvidal. Yeah, but if that's anybody else, Masvidal, he's done. He's done, right? But Masvidal's just like, okay, he's not taking me to the ground. I can rest for a minute. He's just hitting me. And I noticed that all the way back when Covington fought Usman the first time, he landed a lot of shots on Usman, and it was just Usman's just like it didn't faze him.
Yeah, and I think that's what maybe he was playing the long game there because that's what led to Usman actually getting hurt in the second fight against Covington because he had no respect for his power at all, just none, and Covington actually hurt him later on in that fight.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I think in the second fight I think was the best fight of the night. That was Kevin Holland and Alex Oliveira.
Says Greg needs to be cut.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Kevin Holland's debut at 170?
Impressive, man. He was a little flat-footed in the first round. Although I didn't think he had a bad round. Like, I mean, he didn't look bad. The other guy he looked better, But Kevin Holland looked very poised. I love that his corner told him exactly what to do. I like listening to the corner when he goes into these rounds. We're going to get back to that in the Masvidal fight, too, because I didn't like what Masvidal's corner had to say to him going into that. It was the 4th round when they started saying it, but I didn't like what they were saying. But they told him exactly what he needed to do, man. They're just like, yo, like, you start out a little timid, you need to do X, Y, Z, right? Like, you're too flat-footed. You need to calm down. Like they told him exactly what he needed to do, and he went out there and he executed. And he even said it after the fight, like, I was, I don't know, maybe I was expecting something a little different because, it's a new weight class or whatever, but I was a little flat-footed in the first round. That's somebody that's listening to his corner. He trusts his corner, and he put him away. I mean, pretty convincingly in that second round.
Yeah.
So,
what'd you think, Derek?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with Jose because that was something I thought to myself when I one the way his corner was speaking to him, and two the way he responded to his corner. Uh, Not just specifically what they were saying, but when they spoke, he was attentive. Like I mean,
Mhm.
you could see it, and so yeah, it was almost like a different fighter walked out there in that second round. Because that first fight, Oliveira, he was more technical. He was definitely getting to the point.
Yeah.
It was shaping up to look like that might have been a good 3 round banger type fight, and
Yeah,
then Holland came out in that second round and just basically ended it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And Holland looked, what we saw from Holland previously, where he would get on the ground and I don't want to say quit, but he just kind of didn't have a game plan a lot of times when he would get taken down, and he looked a bit better there. He's able to fight his way back to his feet, and and he looked strong. He looked impressive in this fight. So I'm interested to see what he does moving forward.
well, I think middleweight was too heavy for him. Right. I think
Yeah.
he was fighting bigger guys. It was just harder for him to defend himself, when he's on the ground and get back up when he's on the ground. Those guys just lay on him, and he was doing his best, but like that wasn't really his way. He joked about that. He just said, yeah, I basically didn't take care of myself. That's why I kind of went up to the other weight class, but now I'm more focused on being a professional. So shout out to him. And shout out to Mike Angel MY says, he says RP Street Judas Masvidal. Hey, yeah, I think that's it for him, man. I think that's it. Like where else is there for him to go? You're not fighting Leon Edwards, right? Like,
Well, he might. I mean,
you don't want to.
Everybody wants a chance to beat up on Jorge.
Yeah. Does Jorge want to take the beating anymore? Like
Jorge
that's
wants
three.
the money.
That's 3 losses in a row. I mean, I think he's made a good amount of money now these last few fights. I think
Jake Paul might come calling.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's that as well. He's been calling out Jorge for a little while now.
That's the fight. That's gonna be the fight. Jake Paul. Yep, you're right, D Weezy. That's gonna be the fight.
Up next, we had a featherweight fight with Edson Barbosa and Bryce Mitchell.
Barbosa let me down, man.
Thug Nasty.
Nasty. Shout out to Thug Nasty, man.
Barbosa. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a letdown. I mean, he's an older guy as well, right?
No, he let me down because I picked him.
Oh, well, yeah. There was that. He was throwing some mean leg kicks very early on, but he could not handle Bryce Mitchell on the ground at all.
No, he worked it,
and Bryce took him down. Yeah, like he said, he worked him over pretty good. He ended up getting the decision win. It's a 3-round fight. Bryce looked very, very impressive in that one.
Yeah. You pretty much summed it up. Like Bryce. Yeah. I mean, he dominated. He dominated that fight. Like that. Like from the time he got hit, I think, but he got hit early, and then Mitchell was just on top of him, and the fight pretty much stayed on the ground every round after that. And his corner was just like, "Hey man, you gonna do something?" And he's pretty much like, "No, no, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna survive." Yeah, Mitchell owned that fight, man, for sure.
So after the fight, Bryce Mitchell said that he's a very religious person. He said he wanted to show everybody that he doesn't just hurt people; he can help people, and he was going to be donating half of his purse to I forget specifically, but to help kids in Arkansas where he's from. He said that was going to be $45,000. And I know, Derek, you had some thoughts on the on Bryce Mitchell's fight purse of $90K.
Yeah, that's what y'all been talking about it for weeks, and it's been a topic for discussion, nationwide, mainstream media. What some of these, basically big time fighters are, what they're getting paid per fight. We're talking about a winning fighter, and he didn't even, not even 100K,
right?
Not even.
Right. On a pay-per-view event,
on the main card of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he should be walking away with like $250,000, 400,000, but not even $100K.
Yeah. It doesn't look good for the UFC every time, every single time they have a pay-per-view. And granted, Bryce Mitchell wasn't complaining about how much he was making, but money being an issue every single time they go out.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
That's a problem, man. Yeah.
This dude wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna give X amount of dollars. He was just like, it's half of what I made off the fight. That's what I'm giving,
Yeah.
Like, and props to him, because that's the type of stuff you like to see out of people, especially, in a position like that. You just kind of wish like it was more, because
I was gonna say, I like to see it when they're making a lot more money and they can afford to do it.
You would like to hear him say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get half of my earnings. I'm gonna give 200,000 or whatever." Because you said maybe not quarter of a million, but 250,000 should be very doable. I mean, we're not talking about the prelims fights. Like, we're talking, there's only like 5 fights on the main card.
Yeah.
Right. And these pay-per-views aren't cheap. So
no, they are not.
So
in fact, they just raised the prices again.
You should everybody should be pretty comfortable. 250K to 400,000 should be the minimum that these guys are making for these fights. For sure. They got to be able to pay that, man. 90,000?
90,000 is an embarrassment to the UFC, especially for a guy who they're touting as like an up and coming prospect, a guy that you need to be watching out for.
And the whole time praising the fact that Donald Cowboy Cerrone was sitting out in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, that man should be the most all-time paid UFC fighter. Because ain't nobody, I don't need to go look up the numbers. Ain't nobody fought more than
that's why he fights so much. Like, you always wonder, but that's why he's like, anytime there's an available fight, call me up.
Adi said Greg Hardy gets knocked out by a whiff of air. Man, Greg Hardy, look, he been looking pitiful.
Yeah, good.
He been looking pitiful.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't feel any remorse for him, but yeah, that's 2 awful showings. The last time he's been out there, 2 awful showings, man. Like, I don't know what he's doing out there. And that's Rashad Evans fighter. Rashad Evans trains him.
Yeah. So back to the co-main event was Rafael dos Anjos and Renato Moicano, who took the fight on 5 days' notice. He had to cut 20 pounds, or I believe it was 5 days, but he had to cut 20 pounds over, in the last few days to come out here for this 5-round fight with Dos Anjos, who is kind of streaking a bit, trying to get onto a title run. And, Moicano, all the respect to Moicano, he has a ton of heart. He was out there fighting right to the very bitter end.
Yeah.
But it probably should not have gone the full 5 rounds. What do you think there?
Who else thinks that he was pissed off at both the cornerman and the ref for not stopping that fight? Because as the fighter, how do you sit there and basically say, like, nah, I can't go? Like, that's not in you. That's not ingrained. Yeah, like, they ingrain everything against that. And, like, they're doing their tests and whatnot. And, I mean, everybody with half a brain is sitting there like, how do you let this guy keep going?
Yeah.
Because until somebody puts him down, he's going to keep getting up.
That was the most awkward moment. Two of the most awkward moments of the fight. When that doctor came in to check his eye, and the doctor has a sidebar conversation with the ref, like, yes, his eye is fine. This man is beat to hell, though. Yeah. Right? That's pretty. Like,
he hear me say it's reasonable to stop it. It's up to you, though.
Yeah.
Right. He's telling them like you need to go ahead and say this, man. He's like, are you telling me he can see?
Yeah. He's like, I didn't hear that. You said his eye's good. All right, let's go.
Yeah. I mean.
And then it got to a point where you could tell buddy wasn't gonna try and finish him.
Yeah, like, he started sparring. He went easy for the whole 5th round.
Yeah, because even he knew. He was like, damn, I might kill this dude or take his eyesight, or Yeah,
because
everybody likes to get on
his eyes shut and then cut it open. And I mean, he was in bad shape. And Dos Anjos he went easy on him in the 5th round. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Jose.
No. I was just gonna say, like, everybody likes to get on Herb Dean, for stopping a fight too late or early stoppage, this and that. Like this ref, the guy's corner, like all of them, man, like shame on them. Like again, 5 days notice. It's okay to say, hey, you're just getting out of work, man, and we weren't prepared for this. Just recalling it. Like there's no shame in that.
And I didn't like the announcers were going on for a couple rounds about how they just need to stop the fight because there's no real chance of Moicano turning it around. And they were really going in. I don't see how they keep this going. They are not going to let him come out for the 5th round. And then when the referee says, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to show me something, they're like, man, masterful reffing. I'm like, how is it's not masterful reffing? He didn't have the courage to stop the fight because the crowd was booing every time the doctor came in. They wanted to see him finish it, or wanted to see him get finished. And then, in the 5th round, I'm watching the clock. 30 seconds pass. He didn't show anything. And the ref is like, I'm going to give you 4.5 more minutes.
I don't know. Yeah, Adi says that doctor is useless. They should have actually give input, not just come in for show. But the doctor did give input. The doctor did say you should stop the fight. But
the doc basically did all he could do. The fighter could visibly see there was no sort of rupture or anything to the eye from all accounts. It was just swollen and cut. And so from the doctor perspective, like he can't call it under those.
I'm not sure if he even has the authority to call it. I think the referee has to call it.
Yeah,
I think that the doctor can tell him, no, you need to stop this. But I think the referee is the one who actually has to.
But that's what I'm saying. In those cases, it's usually based off some level of medical decision and not just, it looks like he's had enough.
Yeah, but the problem is like the doc doesn't have time to do a concussion protocol, right? To see like, hey man, this guy's concussed, like he can't go anymore, or anything like that. Like all he could do is just look at the eye, but he's looking at the guy's face and just like he's clearly suffered some head trauma. I don't think he should keep going. And he tried to give all the cues to the ref, like this is a good time to stop it, and the ref's just like he can see, let's go, keep it going.
Did y'all see where the fighter shook off the cut man and everything after the fight ended, and the reason it took them so long to just announce the decision was because they had to wrangle him down and basically clean him off so they could present him for the decision.
Disgusting, man. Disgusting.
And this is an ongoing thing in the UFC. And they were even talking about it. They're like, man, if this were boxing, this probably would have been stopped a long time ago. Like, yeah. And to be, to be fair, they were saying, that's something that needs to happen more in the UFC. Specifically with the corner, like you can't let your fighter go out there for 5-minute rounds in a fight where he's got no chance.
No. Those are the things. We actually did an episode on our Ring Kings podcast. If you're not subscribed to Ring Kings, go ahead and subscribe. Ring Kings podcast. When's a good time to stop the fight? Right, and we're talking about boxers, but this applies to UFC as well. We also referenced UFC in the podcast, but it seems more egregious when it doesn't happen in boxing. It does happen in boxing, right? But when fighters aren't protected, man, like that's a big no-no, and we're talking about the Luis Ortiz fight, right? Who was he fighting? Charles.
I forget the guy's name now.
Charles Martin. He was fighting Charles Martin, and Charles Martin got hit so hard. He literally did not remember where he was at. He put his hands down, started looking around, and Ortiz went in there to finish him. And it was just like, clearly he doesn't know where he's at. You can stop the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like I think it seems more obvious with stuff like that in boxing, but UFC, they developed this culture of, you got to go out on your shield. You got to be a warrior and you got to let them finish the fight. And it's just like, no, man, especially in a fight that he's not prepared for and he's been getting worked. It's one thing if they're going at each other and it's just like you made it to the 5th round and it's a close fight and I'm gonna let you finish this out to see if you have a shot. But
he was down 4-0 at that point.
Yeah. You call that a day. You call that a night. Yeah,
and that's something that boxing had to grow out of, and it takes time with the UFC as well. I mean, in boxing, there used to not be round or time limit. They would fight until somebody couldn't get up anymore.
Yeah.
And but that was a long time ago, and they've evolved since then. And the same thing needs to happen in UFC.
Yeah.
Because it's far too common to see guys who are just completely outclassed, and they just let them stay in there and take the beating anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get to the main event, shout out to C Iron Addict. He said, "Didn't watch, so tell me how it went down, champs." Hey, thanks for coming through, man. Look, it went down how I thought it'd go down, man. Masvidal got worked.
Yeah,
Masvidal got worked. This is something that I think has been understood amongst the UFC ranks for a while, right? That Masvidal is just he's a mid-tier fighter, right? And shout out to Maddie Gunner, man. Thanks for coming through. He said, "Sad day, boys. We had to sacrifice a game bread win for Greg Hardy getting sparked." What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Masvidal, yes, older, was never that great. Yeah. He was popular. And yeah, man, like Covington's just a more skilled fighter. Like nothing shocked me in that fight.
No, again, I think this fight for me again came down to just Masvidal's lack of conditioning. And I don't even like to say that, because what really happened is he got taken down early in the fight in the first couple of rounds and just got exhausted.
Well, also I want to point out, I don't want to cut you off, but Covington has great conditioning. I just want to point that out. Like he is elite level conditioning. So that plays a huge factor in it as well.
Yeah. And he got Masvidal down, held him down, beat him up, wore him out. And so when they were actually on the feet and Masvidal was able to land and hurt him, he didn't have anything left to go after him.
Yeah.
So Covington did the right thing. It wasn't the most exciting it was the most exciting way for that fight to go down.
Yeah.
But it was the way for him to go in there and get the win.
Yeah.
Did you have any other thoughts on that, on the main event, Derek?
Oh yeah. Once Masvidal cut Covington, he was done with that stand up. He was like, "Nah, we're not doing this."
Yeah.
I mean, and it kind of had me disappointed, because I was, kind of pulling for Masvidal a little bit, but because you saw him cut him, and you think, okay, this is the start to maybe we see a little more, at least a little more back and forth.
Yeah.
Right.
But that wasn't the case.
I love that, because I thought it was the fourth, but maybe not. But yeah, and you could tell like the crowd was really getting into it, right? When he landed that hook on Covington and dropped him, and the end of the round, and they come back out and the crowd's all hype, and Covington said, "No, none of this," and took him down immediately.
Covington's a smart fighter, man. He's a smart fighter. Like he knew he wasn't going to be able to. It wasn't going to be a stand-up thing, right? Because although I think he's more skilled even with the hands, he just Covington doesn't have any real power, right? And Masvidal does have power. That's the one thing. So he was never going to let Masvidal get comfortable. That is Covington's game, though. Exactly what you see is to press you and to wear you out, because he's going to have that stamina down the road, right? Yeah. That's his game.
And after the fight, again, he's saying he would have liked to see them. Wish they'd hugged it out, but they don't like each other, so it is what it is. After the fight, Covington called out Dustin Poirier. I guess Poirier's been, maybe running his mouth about Covington a little bit. Said it's on site, and so he's calling him out. And I'm just like, why are you calling out the little guy though? Like, there's plenty of people in your division who
that he has not fought. That he listen. When he said, I don't even like to listen to Covington, man. Like he's a clown, man. But like when he called out Poirier, I was just like, okay. Burns is there.
Yeah, Burns, Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, Chimaev.
There's a lot of guys you haven't fought there, bro. There's a lot of guys.
Any one of them.
You were screaming for a shot at the title, even though you got your teeth knocked out, literally. Right? You're screaming for a rematch. You got your rematch. You get whooped. Okay, you take on your grudge match, and now you're just like, I want to switch weight classes. Man, there's still a lot of dogs in that weight class, dude.
He asked 5 or 6 legit welterweights to move out of the way. Excuse me, I want that guy back there. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that, man. I don't like that. Maddie says, bro, that third round when he landed the counter hook. Yeah. He just didn't have it in him. He didn't have it in him. Adi says that Jorge has 2 money fights left. Which fights?
Look, I think that people like to watch Jorge enough that he can get a couple more fights. Who they're against, I mean, we'll see.
And we're talking about UFC because yes, the Jake Paul fight, mark it down. Yes. That's happening. Yeah. That's happening. Okay, he's gonna take that dive. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, I agree, Maddie. He wants none of Chimaev.
No, not at all.
He don't want any of these guys. No. Let's be real about it. I'm not even saying that they wouldn't be good fights, but he don't really want to fight Gilbert Burns. He don't really want to fight Leon Edwards. Like, he don't want to fight those guys.
This is probably true, Masvidal and McGregor. But I mean, does McGregor want to fight anymore? I mean, he's been mentally checked out of the UFC game for a while now. It feels like.
I was gonna say that'd be a great fight to try and find a prop bet of who gets hurt first.
Man. That would definitely sell. That
would be a great lead up to the fight.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would be a great fight. It'd be a big fight though, for sure.
It would sell.
Charge money to the weigh-in for that one.
What is the word on McGregor? Like, you haven't heard much from him. Like, I mean, he had that gruesome leg break, but
the last I heard, learning to walk.
the last I heard, he's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know what the plans are moving forward in terms of his actual fighting career, but I think he's doing okay in terms of the injury.
Yeah.
But just looking forward in the UFC, that the next pay-per-view is going to be April 9th, and this one I'm actually very excited about. Tonight's card, I was kind of whatever. But we got Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie as the main event. Aljamain Sterling coming back against Jan, trying to justify him actually having the bantamweight title. That's a big time fight.
What are your guys' feelings in the chat? Maddie, Adi, like everybody's in the chat. Like, what are your guys' feelings about that fight, that Jan versus Sterling fight? Because I had Jan winning that first fight before that DQ, but Sterling has had his moments in the fight, and I don't know, man. Like, does Sterling come in this time around and clean up some of his issues in the last fight? Like, is it a more competitive fight, or is Jan just too good?
I don't know. Did you see the first fight there with
I don't think I saw it, but I do think I recall. I think I was following it. Wasn't it something like a poke to the eye that ended?
No. So what happened was Jan was excuse me. Jan was winning the fight, right? I think I had picked Sterling going into it, and I think he came in way too jacked up.
Yeah,
and he looked like he was just burning through energy even before the fight, right? And so he was all over the place. And he, Jan took control and was winning fairly easily. And then he had Sterling on the ground. He was on the mat, like, on his knees, and he kneed him in the head.
That's right. That's right.
It made no sense. It's just like, well, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. So everybody is pro Jan in the chat, man. I don't know. Like, Sterling.
I'm gonna. This might be a hard pick, but I'm gonna stay with Sterling.
You'll stay with Sterling. Okay. All right. All right.
I reserve the right to change my mind. but as of right now,
not mid fight though. You can't change a mid fight.
No, never that. But also on that card, Chimaev is going to be going up against Gilbert Burns, which is a very intriguing fight. Gilbert Burns has shown he's a pretty high level fighter. Chimaev doesn't get hit by anybody, right? Like that's kind of his thing at this point. He's like the boxing hit without being hit. He's gotten hit with I think 4 significant strikes throughout his fights in the UFC.
Now Chimaev's fighting Gilbert Burns in the next
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. Koyet Carter says, "Get work, LBHT. well, while we can all day, the Russians are here to stay. Listen. That is all out of that is all out of what's his name's camp? Isn't Chimaev with
not that I know of, but I mean, that's not something that I really
Khabib?
follow with UFC. Maddie would know that better than I would.
Khabib's camp is here to stay. Sheesh, man, they dominate everything.
I said Sterling is nice with it, but Jan is above these guys. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll I think so, Adi. I agree.
Max says Volkanovski holds the belt till Max takes it back. Man, I was so upset when Max had to pull out of that fight. I thought that Max won his first 2 fights against Volkanovski. I thought I won't say he was robbed, but I thought he won both those fights. I was really excited for the third.
I think the second one he was robbed. The first one, okay, whatever, go either way. That second one, I don't know what the refs are looking at.
Sweden at All-Star. There you go.
Okay. Okay, yeah, he's not with Khabib. Gotcha. Yeah, I said no way Max won the first one. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had him win the first one. I didn't think it was a robbery. That second one, he definitely won. He definitely won that second one, man.
Yeah. Regardless, as entertaining as it may turn out to be, I don't think the Korean Zombie's taking that belt off of Volkanovski. But it's going to be. I think it'll be a fun fight, though.
I would be shocked that happened.
Yeah.
That was a disappointment, man, because I was pumped for that, and then they're like, well, Korean Zombie's gonna step in. It's just like
it was like the next day they announced, like right after they announced the fight, they were like, yeah, Max can't fight.
That's too bad, man. That's too bad.
It is.
Hopefully they set it up for later on.
I'm sure they will. They'll try.
He's still young too, right? He's not even 30 yet.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I believe he's 29.
Yeah. There's still a lot in the tank left for Max, man.
It just seems like he's old because he's been around for forever. It seems like.
Yeah.
He's pretty young.
So that's the main card. You talk about Burns and Chimaev.
No, he's 30 now. He's 30.
Oh, he's 30. Okay.
Turned 30 in December.
Well, happy birthday, man.
A little late.
Yeah. Well, whatever. When you get this, all right. So okay, who else is on that card? Is there one more? Okay, Jan and Sterling.
Yeah, Chimaev and Burns, Volkanovski and Korean Zombie, and then Mackenzie Dern and I believe it was Tisha Torres.
Okay,
are fighting as well.
Yeah, pretty solid card. But after that, what are we looking at, man?
I don't know. I mean,
boxing.
Yes.
This is what I was afraid of, man.
Islam he just had a fight though. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that Islam is afraid of RDA at all.
No. He's not afraid.
But this is the thing. Like I was pointing out here, there's a lot of talent in the UFC, a lot of talent, but they don't do a good job of promoting that talent. So it's like if you're not, living and breathing UFC, you're not really going to be excited for a lot of the fights that are coming up.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Mike Mallet making his UFC debut on that card. Watch out for him. Was he on the? He was on the pay-per-view.
He's on the 273.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. That's what's up. Adi says Duck Lip Gaethje versus Brazilian Lingo. Wow.
Not excited about. I mean, I like watching Gaethje. I like Oliveira. I wouldn't say that I'm excited about seeing that fight, but it's a good solid fight.
There are some fights that I look at like, yeah, I won't mind seeing that. I want to pay $80 for it though. You know, like pay-per-view. Like, what's the next big one? Like, in the works for UFC. So we say this. We've been saying this for a while. Like, the stars are almost on their way out in UFC. Those big matches, man, like they're gonna be hard to come by until like some of these up and coming fighters establish themselves. And the thing that I'm worried about now is these fighters are getting smarter and smarter about their pay. and them not be willing to take on these big fights without a good contract might hinder some of these big fights from happening in the future, right? So Gaethje is the Homer Simpson of the MMA, and I'll watch it every time. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, he can absorb some hits.
He says Conor is levels above these guys in terms of promotion, sure. Not in the octagon anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Or in the ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conor, he's done. He's done. I mean, he might still fight here and there just for entertainment purposes, just for him to get out the house, but like he's not really competing anymore. But yeah, these fighters are getting smart, and good for them. They should. But I think Dana's going to be hard pressed in the future to get a lot of these big fights to happen without these fighters being taken care of financially. All right, you're seeing more and more of them. I mean, even before they even blow up, they're out there like, yo, I need to get paid.
Right.
Like you need to pay me. So, as they should be. Salute to them. Justin has a chance against Oliveira because he gets hit a lot in early rounds.
Oliveira does.
Yeah.
He likes to take those punches early and get himself into the fight, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it should be an entertaining fight. It should be a fun fight to watch, but it's not something that I'm like, man, I'm marking my calendar for Gaethje and Oliveira, Yeah. I'm telling you, Conor revenge.
He got a lot of people to take his revenge out on, man. Like,
I am prepared to just take the L on that one. I'll be wrong about the Conor revenge tour.
I'm gonna keep saying this. We're talking about somebody that ain't won a fight since Barack Obama was in office.
He effectively retired the night he fought Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a taste of what it was like to be paid like a real professional combat sport athlete. Yeah. And he looked at the UFC like, why would I come back to you? Like, why would I seriously come back?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I think Floyd taught him a lot, right? Behind the scenes as well. Like, here's how you need to go about doing business, and that's how he carries himself.
Man, Francis Ngannou, man, like that's kind of the one, right? Like, because there was a lot of talk about him fighting John Jones. Now John Jones is in the wind. He fought Cyril Gane, a decent enough fight, but that was kind of like the next guy, right? The next guy who's coming up. So what's left for him right now? There's the talk about Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury, he ain't got nothing going on. Anthony Joshua ruined his big payday. And now, the Joshua Usyk fight looks like it's on hold indefinitely as Usyk has gone back to Ukraine and he's fighting over there. So I can see Tyson really pushing for that Francis Ngannou fight, and I think Francis should be pushing for it as well. Go in there and get some of that boxing money.
Yeah. Adi says, so D Weezy is a pink suit guy at the press conferences. Charles Barkley says his next fight was against Khabib after a 2-year layoff. Come on, Conor always takes on the best guys. Yeah, but you didn't win.
Fight since the Obama administration.
Yeah, like Khabib was his last fight. He took 2 other fights after that. He lost those 2.
Maddie, what's funny about this? Like, I would pay to watch that. And I don't think I'd even pick Deontay in a boxing match.
Damn.
Like, he doesn't know how to fight. And Francis has the exact same kind of power that Deontay Wilder has.
Wilder got longer reach. And
he don't know how to use it.
I'm going Deontay, man.
I can actually recall having conversations with people like 2-3 years back, and basically saying exactly what B is saying now. He made it this far in his career off his power, not his ability to fight and land a punch.
Yeah.
And so he's Clubber Lang from Rocky 3. He's going in there looking for one big punch. And if he don't find it, he ain't gonna win the fight.
Yeah. Charles, Ngannou ain't a boxer though. Francis ain't got I'm sorry, like he's not beating Wilder. I'm not picking that.
Charles, he's saying that he lost to Poirier. That's not a bad loss. The way he lost was bad, but it's not that we're not saying that he can't fight anymore. We're saying he just doesn't care about fighting anymore. Like he got paid in that Floyd fight. He got paid when he sold his whiskey. He is the richest MMA fighter the world has ever seen, and I don't think he has the hunger in him to do it at a high level.
He lost his edge, and I mean, listen, those aren't bad losses, but they're losses. Like I mean, he's lost 3 fights in a row. Like at some point, you are what you are. Wilder can't throw more than 2 punches at a time. It's a scientific fact. This is true. And if he does, he'll tire. He's gassed. He's done. This is true. This is true.
Like, listen, let me tell. I'll tell
that third punch started somewhere back here and
it went around the world. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, man. If he tries that huge lunging step in jab to the body that he was doing against Tyson Fury, he will be asleep before he pulls.
Francis wouldn't know what to do because he's never seen a jab before. They don't throw jabs
in
the
UFC. He will put him to
one
sleep.
Person, two fighters established a jab and they were unstoppable. Okay,
not against
GSP
Francis
and Usman.
If he tried that against Francis, Francis would put him to sleep.
Every time somebody throws a jab in UFC, the other fighter stands there like, "What is that?"
I do. What we talk about all the time, and like we're just joking, Matt. Take it slow. But every time somebody learns how to throw a jab in the UFC, it's like they're the greatest fighter of all time.
Matt ain't gonna take it no way. Matty watches boxing. He knows what we're talking about. I'm Deontay Wilder fan, but he makes it so easy to clown him. He does. He does.
You mean like coming out in that suit for the Fury fight?
Ridiculous. Stay away from Colby. Yeah, I mean, look, Colby's he's bigger than him. Like, I don't know. Colby looks terrible calling out a lightweight.
I want to see,
regardless of what Poirier said.
Listen, I gotta see Colby fight some more, man. Like people, I think people are giving him too much props, too much credit. Colby ain't beat nobody, man.
There you go. If he comes out in this 200-pound Halloween costume.
I know. But like, let's be real. Like Colby hasn't beaten anybody. He got a lot of hype for beating washed up Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
And who else?
He beat Jorge Masvidal.
Like there's a lot of guys in that weight class. Because I mean, he's getting credit for being like that number 2 guy, right? Because that last fight he fought a close fight with Usman, kind of. But man, you ain't fight anybody else. Like you got to jump to the head of the line.
He's beaten some guys, but just not the top guy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
Maya, Robbie Lawler, Dos Anjos, like those aren't bad wins at all.
No.
It's just you're not talking about. We're talking. It's a different discussion now. He's past those guys, and we're talking about the Usmans, and he's not on that level.
Yeah, the Leon Edwards, the Gilbert Burns, right? Chimaev, like those are the guys. I mean, there's guys right there for you to fight if you want to be that guy. Because honestly, Usman, he said it himself, he's going to only take like maybe 2 or 3 more fights, and then he's calling it a career, right? He's literally beating everybody. He's going to call it a career, and then the belt's up for grabs. Like, do you not want it? Like, you want to be in position? Well, I guess he is. He's trying to, jump the line in a different weight class.
That's fine. That doesn't change the fact that he fights at lightweight. There are welterweights for him to fight, and he doesn't want to fight them.
Both are the same size. Right. Poirier just cuts weight. Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't matter that they're the same size when they walk around. That's not what I'm talking about. Fight the people in your division who you haven't fought and who you can't beat before you go out calling out other people.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, that's the thing. And I'm not even saying Colby can't beat those guys. Like, but I need to see it. that's all I'm saying. There are guys right now in the weight division that you could fight. Just fight them. Like, why are you calling out Poirier? I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't know. Fighting Poirier when Poirier doesn't have to cut weight. Money? No, thanks. I'm good. How?
Could it be that he's trying to find ways to make more money?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is Poirier a bigger fight? Maybe. Is Poirier the bigger fight to take?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think any of them are particularly big fights, but I think he's the bigger fight.
Well, and he can also create more conflict behind it.
Yeah,
like that's the whole kicker with his personality. That's the whole, he's taking pages right out of Chael Sonnen's book. More or less, you make people hate you, whether they're a fan of the other guy, they're going to show up just to hate you, thus bringing more money in. They ain't got to be there for him to make him money.
Yeah, but
he's trying to run through his old team. I mean, look, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
But for me, that's an admission that you can't compete at the top of the welterweight division.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
That's what it looks like to me. Worry about going and working your way back up to Usman and trying to get that title. Like, you don't get anything for running through your old team. Nobody cares.
No. Nobody's checking for Poirier right now either. Like, I don't know. He wants to see if Conor is the real dad. Yeah. But yeah, man, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. You'll see. Hopefully, they can make some good matches coming up in the future after 273. I just don't see any big fights in the work. I know it's still early and anything can happen. Look, they just re-signed Israel Adesanya. He got a big deal. They're still working on trying to get Francis Ngannou locked down. We'll see. But I mean, look, I don't think John Jones is coming back.
Because Kobe would beat everyone besides Hamzat and Kamaru and welterweight. Cool, go prove it. Do it. And then you'll fight Kamaru again for a title. But he won't prove it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, there are guys you can fight, His last win was a guy who got knocked out by a YouTuber, says something. Yeah.
No, well, I mean, not anymore. Okay, you got to win the night.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds, man. But if he drops down, they're down. They're down weight class, right? What are they, lightweight? Is that Poirier?
Yeah, but I mean, if they'd be fighting probably a welterweight. But I mean, he's saying beating Poirier would be working his way back to Usman, probably one more fight. Look, I mean, the UFC works in they don't really kind of care about their rankings or anything like that.
Right.
To me, this is just my opinion. Beating Poirier does nothing in terms of getting you back to Usman.
How does beating Poirier jump you in front of Edwards or even Burns? Like, what does Covington, what has he done to deserve a third shot at the above guys that haven't gotten, Usman's beating all these guys, guys that haven't gotten a second shot? Why? What gives Covington a right to get to a third shot? He hasn't fought any of these other guys, right? Like, now, Burns or Chimaev, one of those guys are going to lose, right? Probably Burns, but one of those guys is going to lose. It's going to be a good fight. But even still, why does Covington get the jump the line? Because he beat Masvidal. Masvidal has 3 losses in a row. I mean, he has 12 total losses for his career.
He has a belt.
Yeah, he's got the hardcore belt. Kobe needs at least 3-4 win streak. Yeah.
He better not.
No.
Better not.
Kobe isn't getting a shot unless
fighting, is he?
Yeah. Oh no. He's not. No. He ain't gonna move up.
But but what we're saying is he could force it if he would fight the other guys and beat the other guys. But he knows that's not going to happen, so he's like, let's go fight Poirier, maybe, if he's willing.
Now I'm thinking about it, that might be the bigger money fight for him. Like, yes, he's just like Masvidal. He's trying to cash out as much as he can and then probably call it a career himself, right? Like, he knows where he's at on the food chain, and that's fine. That's fine. He's a good fighter. He's not the top guy. So, all right. I think we've covered this enough. We've covered the upcoming UFC 273. Is there anything else that we missed out on?
No, I mean the Chocolatito fought tonight. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I watched it.
The UFC fight. Oh yeah, how was it?
It was a good fight. The other dude was named Martinez. He was a strong dude, and he thought he was gonna just power through it. But Chocolatito was just way too skilled, man. He was way too skilled. Like by the end of the fight, and that dude could take a punch too. Like it was entertaining, but Chocolatito he worked that guy.
Yo, who here wants to find out how well Dana White can take a punch?
I would, but he'll never do that.
I'm just saying, like, I think that should be, Jake Paul's next target. Like, he needs to get Dana White.
That would never happen. Dana White would never step in the ring with Jake Paul. Never. That's why he's spreading that rumor about him being on steroids, right? He's already preempting. He's already preempting that challenge coming down from Jake Paul. Like, hey, if you think this is fake, step in the ring. Let's go, right? So he can say, "Hey,
that's just it. That doesn't help him in the long run. That helps him in the public eye because even if he is, it doesn't matter because in exhibition boxing." There aren't regulations like that. There aren't rules like that.
Listen, he might be on steroids, but Dana's on crack, right?
I want to see. Listen. If there's one fight and one fight only, I want to see with Dana White. That's him and Oscar. All right, that's.
Against
and Dana wants to cut down 145. I'll help him find out. There you go.
Come on, man. You know he wouldn't even have to come down to 145. Come on, man.
Can Dana even get down to 145?
I want to see Dana step in a ring with Oscar. Okay, he talked a lot of trash about Oscar. Oscar called him out man to man. Let's do this, right? And now the guy who always like to act like a bully doesn't want to respond to Oscar. Like Oscar called you out a few times, right? Yeah. He made it crystal clear. Let's go. You guys are around the same age. You're both out of shape. He drinks all the time. Like you called him a cokehead. You called him all this stuff, right? Like, okay, hey man, like he's a junkie. He's an alkie.
That's what makes it even work better. Out. Yeah. You can't even call Jake Paul a former top-notch professional athlete.
Yeah.
Like, you got Joe Blow calling you out.
Professional athlete.
Listen. Jake Paul is younger, obviously in better shape, whether it's, you want to call these fights fake or not, they are fake. Yes, there's a disadvantage there. We still haven't seen Dana versus Tito. Yeah. That was meant to happen. Yes, you're right. He won't do that either. But look, I want to see that Oscar one, man.
Big time coward.
Oscar is like, I only need 60 seconds.
What's up,
That's all I need. Shaheen, what's up, man? Yeah, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming through. We're actually gonna wrap up here soon. But that's what I want to see. Dana won't take on any fight, man. Dana,
that's why we need midnight streams for fans like Shaheen.
Shaheen, all Shaheen does is come through and troll. Though no, we don't need.
Maddie said he'd take Bob Arum against Dana. Bob Arum probably got a nice little left hook for his age.
Yeah, I would like to hear an update on Oscar's comeback though, because COVID seems to have taken him completely out.
He changed his mind. He's like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. He saw what Vitor did to Evander, and he was like, "It's like that."
I think he would have wiped Vitor though, man.
I think so too, but maybe he saw it and got a little scared. I don't know.
We'll see.
Or maybe he did more coke and just forgot.
Because the video he showed him working out, I was like, oh, he lost all the weight. Like fat Oscar you see now, he didn't look like that.
Remember how impressed people were with Evander Holyfield's workout videos too. I mean, I wasn't. He always looked terrible in those videos, but
yeah. That's a good point. But I feel like Oscar is on a mission though. Evander's just like, I just want to get out the house. All right. I just want to go out. I don't want to be in the house. I always want to be out doing something. Oscar wants to be in the house drinking, but he's got a calling now. He's got a score to sell him. So it's serious for him. Vitor back on the Brazilian vitamins. Oscar Machucho.
That's
all
right,
he needs to do is go back down to Mexico and get some of that tainted beef.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oscar coming in with the mercury gloves on.
Yeah. Get some of that plaster that what's his name was wearing on his wraps. Yeah. Margarito. All right,
Vitor said, as long as you're not legally allowed to hit me with Steven Seagal's front kick, I'm all good. I can't believe Steven Seagal was the missing piece to Anderson Silva's dominance all along.
You know, I love when he tells that story, right? That Steven Seagal, I'm telling that kick. Steven Seagal didn't teach him anything, man. Right? He was a fan of Steven Seagal's movies, and he used it in a fight, and he said, Steven Seagal taught me that. Okay? Because he's a true master. What's up, Keenan Ricketts? Man, y'all be coming in at the last minute. It's 2:30. Javante got another fight soon. Who's he fighting next?
Listen, yes, that is trolling, Shaheen.
Tackles by the arm length.
Damn it,
is that trolling?
Doesn't matter that it's true.
Canelo sent him a care package of that horse meat. Yeah. That doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Like, the man tested positive for steroids right before the second Triple G fight. We told Greg Hardy and Luke Rockhold the battle of who can get knocked out the most. Sheesh. Man. But true. Look, Vitor is
Vitor is an elder.
He's doing he's doing his retirement thing, probably making more money than he has in UFC.
And why wasn't Frank Mir on that list?
Probably making more money than Greg Hardy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Let's wrap this up. It's almost 2:30. All right. And I don't want no more surprises this weekend. No more surprise streams. I thought we got to talk about Brittany Griner earlier, but we'll say that for the Wednesday show. All right. I think just about everybody in here is subscribed. If you're new here and the people that watch the replay, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. And also every now and then we do a little pop-up stream like this if something's going on, like a UFC fight or a boxing match or what have you, or there's some breaking news in the NFL. So hit that subscribe button, man. Help us get to 1,000 real soon. And D Weezy, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yes.
And shout out to everybody, the LBHT crew, everybody that's here in the chat. Shout out to our guy, Matty Gunner, for coming through. Yes, we're going to get you on the show for one of these streams, man, for sure. Love your nerds and virgins. Appreciate you, Adi. Appreciate you, man. Great show. Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good night / good morning, and we will see you on. Wait, are you ready, B? Do you want to send? Are you ready to go?
Man, okay.
Let's do this. All right. See you next time. Peace out.